Hey everybody, once again I'm coming to you with another Kickstarter. This one's coming May 24th. It's called Assembly. And in this game, you are stuck on a luxury spaceship cruiser when it's hit by asteroids and becomes infected with a virus. Everybody's wiped out except for you and possibly a co-worker on the spaceship if you're deciding to play co-op. Mostly it's a solo game, but you can play it two-player. And in the game, you have to try to line up your room modules with the bays and be able to lock them in to score a certain amount of points by the end of the game, or else you die. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the components. We're going to set it up on the table, and me and Gothy are going to go ahead and play. And I just want to remind everybody that this is a prototype, so the pieces you see are not indicative of any final product. Anything can change during the Kickstarter, so just go ahead and keep that in mind. And let's get to the video for assembly. So the first pieces you look at for the game are the 6 different commanders that you can choose to be. And you shuffle these up and deal one out to either each player or one player if you're playing solo. It all depends. You have Finn, Emily, Jasmine, Noah, Holly, and Sammy. And they all have their different special abilities that affect gameplay. Like you see Finn here, he can execute the lock and draw commands when discarding a red command card. And so, depending on which one, he can do that. Jasmine over here can swap 3 room modules when executing a swap command action, because usually you can only swap 2 with the command swap command action, and we'll show you those cards later. But whenever you use the ability, you flip the card over, and it can't be used for the rest of the game. It's only a one-time use. And here are the command cards that you're going to be playing during the game. This one right here is the lock or draw command. You can see it's got the draw symbol right there for drawing one of the room modules. Or if you play it, you'll be able to lock 2 of the room modules in the bay, or lock 2 bays, possibly 1 or 2 bays, so that those bays are locked in. You remove the room module from them. This one, when you draw the room module, you'll roll the D12 to find out which bay it's actually going to go on. This is the swap command card, the yellow one right here, which allows you to swap 2 room modules between 2 bays. This one is the rotate clockwise command card. It'll allow you to rotate your room modules around the bays, either 1 or 2 bays. And whenever you rotate all the room modules, not just picking one and rotating it. You're going to rotate all of them, and you skip any locked bays. This one is the anti or counterclockwise, and works just the same way. You'll rotate either 1 or 2 bays. This one is the rotate any, either counterclockwise or clockwise. It counts as both of them. So you can choose which way you want to, but whichever way you choose, you'll have to rotate all of them that way. You can't just, I'm going to choose this one, I'm going to rotate it clockwise by 2, but then this one over here, I'm going to rotate it counterclockwise by 2. This one right here with the multicolored one is a wild card. You can use it as any of them. Actually, I think that card is upside down. There we go. You can rotate it anyway, or you can use it as any of the command cards whenever you have the wild in hand. So let's say you wanted to do the draw or lock command, you can just say, do you have, or can you execute the draw command? And they would say yes or no, but you could use them as any one of the commands. Here we have the bay cards that you're going to use to keep track of how the bays are set up on the table, because they're set out like a clock. There's going to be 12 of them, and you use them, you place them in a clock figure going around. You got 12, 3, 6, and 9. And you notice that these ones don't have any descriptions on them, because in the more advanced game, you're going to use these sides that have malfunctions on them that will come into play in a more advanced game. And there's 3 different sets of malfunctions. You can see they're signified by the letter A right there at the top of the card right there. You got A, A right there, and you go around. They got different malfunctions, but we're only going to be using the basic ones during the game. But there's 3 sets of malfunctions. There's A, and then you've got B's on this side, and then C's on the other side. As you can see, where's it right there and stuff. And the different malfunctions add a little bit more to gameplay. But we're going to be go ahead and using the basic ones for a basic game that don't have any malfunctions on them and set them out. You'll see it in the gameplay when we set them up. Here we have the 12 bay cards that you're going to be using set out in a clock spread on the table with the bay the 4 different bay cards, 12, 3, 6, and 9 that you'll set up. And these go in a clockwise order whenever you're dealing them out. They're starting at 12 and going around in a clockwise position. You can see you've got the shuttle bay, the VR lab, quarters, AI core, engineering, security, medical, navigation, research lab, elevator, transporter, and hydroponics. And they've all got little symbols down here on the bottom, because these are the symbols that are going to be on your command modules or room modules, that whenever you pull them, you're trying to match those symbols with this bay. That way you'll be able to play a command card and lock them in, the lock command. And then the room module will get removed, put back in the box. These will be flipped over to the locking side like this, and then you'll be able to score points at the end of the games for the ones that you've matched up and locked during the game. And speaking of the room module tokens, here they are, all 12 of them. These at the beginning of the game are shuffled up and stacked face down on the table, so that whenever you perform the draw action, you'll draw one of the tokens, flip it over, and then roll the 12-sided die to figure out where it goes. Let's see, that's a 1 right there. So you got the ones for different symbols, like that's for the medical bay. This one's for engineering. And you'll figure out, they won't end up, or hopefully they will, if you're lucky, fingers crossed, that they'll end up on the correct bay. That way you can just lock them in. But most often, they end up somewhere else, and then you're going to have to swap or rotate or this or that to get them in there and then be able to lock them in. So here we have assembly all set up. We've got our bays all out there, 12, 3, 6, 9, and then we've got all our room bays there. Got our stack of modules, which we shuffled and have face down. Our cards, command cards, which we shuffled and have face down, our 12-sided die. We each have our command actions here. We just have to get our commanders, our personalities for this. So we'll go ahead and shuffle it up, and I'll let Gothy choose hers. Randomly, I'll choose mine. I'll set the rest off to the side. I will be playing Finn. My special ability is execute the lock and draw commands when discarding a red command card. So I can do anyone, then I'd have to flip it over. And then who do you have, Gothy?
I have Emily. Her special ability is to play 2 command cards consecutively.
Alright, so we'll have to remember those. We've got our deck all shuffled up and ready, and for a 2-player game, we go ahead and set out one of any rotate cards and one of the wild cards, and those will be significant for whenever we finish the deck, because you can only go through the deck 3 times, and then the game ends. So we start off with 3 cards each. 3 right there. I'm going to go ahead and put that, and then we choose a first player, so I'll go ahead and roll the die here. See, I got a 1, so it looks like Gothy's probably going to go first unless she rolls a 1. And she got a 5. Alright. So go ahead and start with one of the commands.
Can you play the draw command?
Okay, so play starts out by somebody asking if someone can execute one of the commands, the 4 commands on there. And the other person has to, because this is a completely honest game, it's co-op, answer just yes or no. You can't say anything else or what card you have. That is just yes or no. So she's asking me if I can execute the draw command, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Alright, so once somebody verifies, then the player will first discard the card.
Sorry.
And then I verify that I can actually do it, because if I did not have a draw card, or I didn't have one of those, or I didn't have a wild card, I would have to discard one of my cards. If I said no, I would have to discard a random card from my hand, or one that I picked, discard it to basically override the system so that Gothy could do that action. So then she draws one of the room modules, like she did, rolls the 12-sided dice to figure out on which of these bays it is going to go in. Number 7. So the purple one here will go into the medical bay. Now, it's in the wrong one. We want it over here in the navigation, because that's a navigation room module. We want it over here in the navigation bay. So we're going to have to manipulate it before we can lock that bay. And then she will draw a command card to replace the one in her hand that she used, and then play passes over to me. And I'm going to ask her, so can you execute the draw command?
Yes.
Yep. So I discard the card, and I take a new room module. This time it is the med bay one. And it will go into spot 5 right here, 3, 4, 5, which is the security bay module. Okay, and then I draw up at the end of my turn, and play passes back to Gothy.
Okay, can you play the draw card?
The draw command? Execute? Yes.
Okay. So it's like a computer thing. What should I call it?
Oh, yeah, it's a
it's one of those things.
It's a computer chip, yes. We hopefully wanted to go over here in the AI core.
Oh, no.
But it looks like it's going number 4. It's going over here, over to the hydroponics bay, over there. Let's see. So, can you execute... let's see which one I want to do. Yeah. Can you execute the swap command?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll discard my swap card right there. And I'm going to swap the security and medical bays right there. So now we actually have the medical one in the right bay. Now we just have to lock it in. And I draw my card for the end of the turn.
Okay, can you play the draw command?
Yes.
Or lock?
Sorry. The lock command, yes.
Okay. So there that is.
Okay.
This will get locked.
Yep, and she's going to lock the medical one. So we go ahead and turn the card over to the lock side and discard the token off to the side. And then you go ahead and draw up.
Oops. Too many. Okay.
Okay. Can you execute the clockwise rotate command?
Yes.
Okay. So discard the clockwise rotate, which is the purple rotate, and I can choose to move it them 1 or 2, and whenever I do, all of them will move. So I'm gonna move 2. So this one here will go 1, 2, because you skip over any locked bays. So it skips over that one, goes to the navigation one, and this one will go 1, 2, and end up over at engineering, getting closer to its AI core over there. And then that ends my turn, so I go ahead and draw up.
Okay. Can you execute the draw or the lock command?
Yes. Okay. Discard that one over there. Now that the navigation is locked, go ahead and draw.
Okay.
Can you execute the draw command?
Yes.
Now we'll draw a new one. Oh, let's see. That is the research lab symbol. So I want it to be a 10, but it's going to be a 5. So it will go over here into security. Okay, and I will draw up.
Okay, can you play or execute the rotate clockwise command?
Yes.
Okay. So it's going to go 1.
So you're just going to rotate 1. Okay. And now you have to draw up. So whenever somebody has to draw up, when they can't draw any more cards, what we do is we take the discards, and first you take the rotate anywhere card that's been placed off to the side with the wild card, and it gets added to the discards and those get shuffled up, and we'll make a new draw pile. So we'll just shuffle those real quick like this, and I'll make a new draw pile. The second thing that happens is all the modules come off, but they stay next to whatever side bay, and any ones that aren't locked will get picked up and shuffled and then redistributed, because there's a glitch in the system that causes all the bays to shift around and rotate. So we'll go ahead and just shuffle those up real quick and deal them out like we did before, starting with the 12 o'clock position. Hydroponics now is over there, security, engineering. So our hard work of putting those modules in those bays is all for naught, because now whenever they go back, they're most likely going to be in ones that they don't go in. Okay, and now the modules go back onto the bays.
Now I get to draw?
And now she gets to draw up her third card. And that's your basic turn sequence for assembly. Whenever we finish the deck again, going around, we would add this card, the wild card, to the discard, shuffle up, and any locked modules or bays we have here would also get shuffled around again. And then once we go through the deck a third time, and somebody has to draw, the game ends whenever you can't draw. And then we would go to scoring. And scoring is relatively easy. You get 1 point for each of the drawn room modules that you have, that are either out on the board or over the side. You get 1 point for each locked bay you have. And then you get 1 card or 1 point for each card that's left in the draw pile. So if you locked everything up and you still had cards that were left in the draw pile, you would win, or you would get points for them. And then the scoring card right there has all the different levels for scoring. A couple times me and Gothy haven't got above a 20 yet. So I think we need to work on our strategy for the game.
These are worth 1 or 2?
These are worth 1. The locked bays, well, you could do it in different ways. You can go as the locked bays count as 2 points, and then any modules you have on the board still count as 1, because that counts the ones that are out here and those as 2 points. Or you can just count all your tokens that you've pulled off of the stack as 1 point, and then count your locked bays as 1 point. It'll still equal out to the same amount of points. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get to the review. So as you can see in assembly, the gameplay is awesome. It's pretty simple. You have to just say your command, and the other person verifies it. You play your card. I think one of the things you didn't see in the video is if they can't verify your command, they don't have a matching card or a wild card for the ability you do, then the other player has to discard a card whenever you play your card. I don't think that came up in the gameplay with me and Gothy. So yeah, they would discard any random card from their hand. They just pick one and discard it to override the system. Other than that, you saw everything in the game, and it's a pretty interesting game. It's pretty fun. Me and Gothy played it a couple times, back and forth, and we had a lot of fun. So go ahead and check it out. It's going to be on Kickstarter May 24th. It's called Assembly, and yeah, it's an awesome game. Let's go ahead and help get it funded. I'm Logan for Logan Chops Reviews. Make sure you check out our Facebook, Logan, which is Logan Chops Reviews, where we do put up all of our videos, previews, reviews, gameplay, everything, pictures of our cat. Also on our Twitter. Check out our Twitter. Don't forget about Twitter and Instagram. All the same name, basically. And don't forget to check out our sponsors down below, and you'll see their icons on the end card of the video. We'll go ahead and check them out. Make sure to give them a click, give them a like, check out their Facebook page, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time on Logan Chops Reviews. Thanks for watching.